Hey guys, Tyler here. Is round 500 still possible in Bloons TD 6? Back in the day when the game came out, round 1000 even used to be easy. Automatic, anyone with just a little bit of free time and a good computer could get it. Nowadays, it's impossible because Ninja Kiwi decided to up the scaling rate of free play. The balloons get stronger faster and they get faster faster. So much so that round 1000 is impossible unless if you go to sandbox mode and sell and rebuy the Legend of the Night and hope to get lucky after 1000 tries. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a real game. You're not going to beat 1000 on your first try in a real game. Hell, are you going to beat round 500? I'm giving that a shot today, and I'm hoping to do it without lagging my computer too much. My computer's pretty decent, but in the late game of free play, if there's too many towers and too many calculations going on the screen, the game's gonna get laggy, so I'm going to try to avoid that at all costs. I would rather have a defense that doesn't lag my computer than a defense that is marginally better but lags my computer. First and foremost, let's talk strategy. Obviously, we're doing logs, and obviously, we're doing a Vengeant Temple. I am setting it up to be on the water for a couple reasons. One, the water is smack in the center of the map, and two, if you have a temple be on the water, it actually counts as a water tower, which means that the 5th tier carrier flagship actually gives a buff to the temple, which is pretty sweet. I ended up getting the temple and then realized I couldn't fit in the carrier flagship or energizer, both of which I wanted, so I just got a little portable lake for the both of them. We're going to be using agents a little bit over the course of this, just the one portable lake, and then we'll be using some tech bots later. And of course, monkey farmers. Can't forget about those guys. And the entire strategy revolves around making the temple as strong as possible. So in addition to the carrier flagship buff, of course we're going to give it a permabrew buff. Of course we're going to overclock it 10 times. We're going to give it jungle drums, village ability. We're going to give it 2 support temples as well, just because I'm pretty sure 1 support temple is enough, but just in case 2 is somehow better than 1, I got 2. Either way, we have that, and then we have towers that also increase the damage dealt by the temple, such as the Cripple Moab, which gives any tower attacking a tower just attacked plus 5 damage per shot. And I might be wrong about this, I don't know the details, but I know for Cripple Moab, if you have the shrapnel, it will stun multiple Moabs, but to my knowledge, that weird buff thing only applies for the main shot. I'm hoping I'm not wrong here, because I hadn't tested it, and I couldn't figure out how to test it reliably. So I'm just rolling with the fast attacking one for that reason. I don't care about the actual damage or the stuns. I only care about the Cripple Moab's plus 5 damage ability. And not to mention, the stun itself is worthless because our only threat is going to be fortified BADs. You might think DDTs and Moabs and Grip Balloons are scary, but no, those are all going to die in the crossfire, especially since we'll have towers that can permanently stun those types of balloons. The only thing that's terrifying is the uber health fortified BAD, and I will be talking about the health and speed of those over the course of the game. So every time we increase rounds, I'll update you guys with how strong and how fast these blimps are. Another heavy synergy tower I get is the Super Brittle. It basically has the same effect as the Cripple Moab. Any balloon it just hits, even a BAD, is weak to other towers. Any other tower attacking that will deal plus 5 damage to it. What's nice about this is that it's an AoE effect in a decent area after it's buffed by the temple and all that. So that one's going to be just as good, if not better. And then the third tower that falls in that category is Glue Strike, but I don't get Glue Strike until way later. I believe it's just plus 1 or plus 2 layers of damage that only go while the ability is active. It's not as good. All of that together, in combination with ability usage, will make for the strongest Vengeant Temple you can possibly get. Everything else is going to be a support tower in some way, or maybe moderate extra DPS. I will be introducing these other side DPS towers over the course of the game because I don't add them all at the same time just to try to reduce lag. The first one I add though is the Carpet of Spikes because it's really good at Moab damage specifically because again, we are only trying to get side DPS towers that excel against fortified BADs. Everything else is irrelevant. And why is it irrelevant, you might ask? Because I have this little thing called Balloon Crush. Balloon Crush, especially when buffed the hell out of attack speed wise, is going to stop any non-BAD right in its tracks. is a huge area. It's going to attack very fast. Its Pierce is massive. But I also got a BMA just to kind of one-shot the balloons being stunned by the Bloon Crush. And I'm going to get some other stuns in place as well, so we really won't have to worry about those sort of things. So it's round 200 now. A fortified BAD on round 200 has 1.3 million HP, and it goes 6 times faster than a BAD would on round 100. So already, massive change of pace, but still the balloons are only making it about 1/6 to 1/8 of the way across the track. We're still doing very well. So let's jump ahead to round 250. On this round, fortified BADs have 2.3 million HP, and they're 8.5 times faster than a BAD would be on round 100. Still, we're doing well, because I decided to add a couple things to the build. The first one is the Mob Eliminator, which is surprisingly useless. You'll see by the end, but this thing does not contribute much. It's one of the better BAD solutions for early rounds, but it does not scale that well into late game because most of its power comes from its ability, which doesn't really get buffed that well from the Vengeance Temple and Overclock and all that other jazz. The more interesting thing I get is a Grand Sabotage. Now, again, if we're targeting fortified BADs, Sabotage does not slow them down. But it has a secondary effect where after it gets used, any balloon that shows up on the screen will show up damaged from the beginning. 22.5% of its max HP will be taken off right as it shows up, which is insanely good when a BAD has 2.3 million HP. That's almost 500,000 HP being taken off right there. So let's jump ahead to an even harder round. On round 300, fortified BADs have 3.3 million HP, and they go 11 times faster than a round 100 BAD. Still, they're only making it about 1/3 of the way across the screen. So I added a couple important things, first being the Druid Squad, 5 Poplus Druids and a 5th tier Druid I can't remember the name of. Those things, when super buffed, as shown by my Hypersonic Tower series, are very, very, very powerful. Especially against blimps. You put that on strong and it deals with it perfectly. Another thing I got was the MAD Dartling Gun. That is a new blimp destroyer, and that thing absolutely shreds. I also just now start setting up tech bots on everything, including Azili, because Azili has 2 amazing purposes. One being, of course, the Moab Hex, which works on fortified BADs. It deals damage to them proportional to its main health, so it never stops being good against fortified BADs. And also Azili has the Totem. So if I just sacrifice 1 life, of which I have 1,000, I will create this totem, and anything around the totem gets a little passive buff, attack speed, maybe range, maybe pierce. I don't know the specifics, but it's good. Now we're on round 350, which has fortified BADs with 4.3 million HP that are 13.5 times faster than a BAD on round 100. Now they're starting to scare me a little. They get halfway across the screen, but my defense has not reached its final form. I upgraded a little bit. I get a Grandmaster Ninja, which has no Shinobis right now besides the one that is inside of the Grand Sabo. I don't plan on getting Shinobis until the very end because, listen, I'm trying to prevent lag as much as possible. Those are 20 towers with 20 billion projectiles coming out of them. I would rather have towers that have fewer projectiles that are stronger. But I also do get up a Super Glue utility tower in a different location from the Bloon Crush because I want to have something else as a backup. And Super Glue does really good when being buffed by everything you see here. The extra pierce it gets almost brings up to Bloon Crush levels, and it's just an overall very good stun. I don't fear losing too much yet, but I know it's only going to get worse and worse. Welcome to round 400, where balloons get far. Fortified BADs have 5.3 million HP, and they're 16 times faster than their round 100 equivalents. They are way too close to exiting for my comfort. I have massively restocked on defense. I got a Super Mines, I got a Glue Storm, I got a Dark Champion, which is the strongest tier 4 tower you can get. I got an Icicle Impale on the left side of the map. And, oh, I also got an Archmage. That one's doing really good. And an underrated tower that I kind of got over 100 rounds ago, but neglected to tell you until now, the Unstable Concoction. You buff that thing up, and it'll apply its Unstable Concoction potion on every single blimp that comes by. What happens is when that layer of the blimp is destroyed, it's like 5 or 10% of its HP is dealt in an explosion to all surrounding blimps, which on a 5.3 million HP BAD is a lot of damage being dealt for free just for killing it. Now, I don't think it's exactly 10%. Like, I think it goes up to a certain round and then it caps. Like, maybe it maxes out at 250,000 damage or something totally irrelevant. Just kidding. It's insane damage still. Very good tower. Absolutely love it. But still, balloons are getting far. I'm going to have to up my defenses soon in the near future. I've been looking through every tier 5 tower to consider what's worth it and what's not. Because I need towers that, 1, excel against fortified BADs, and 2, get buffed well by Vengeance Temple, regular Temple, Overclock, Perm Brew, and the other side buffs. It can't just be something that deals a lot of layers of damage, like First Strike, because that doesn't scale well. So let's jump ahead to round 425. I'm still fighting back against the ever-growing onslaught of balloons. BADs have 5.8 million HP, and they're 17.25 times faster than round 100. I have gotten Big Plane. I have gotten Ray of Doom. I have gotten the other tier 5 Dartling, the super buckshot thing. I have gotten the Grand Sabo Army finally. That's how desperate I am. 20 ninjas that actually massively lag my computer and make me not want to continue much further. Yeah, those guys, they're all here. And still, balloons are making it very far. There's still a few towers I can add here, but I'm kind of beyond the point of no return for lag. I told myself that I wanted to get as far as I could without it taking 20 minutes per round. And if I add anything else, it's going to be at that level. So it's at this point, I'm going to ride it out with this defense. How far can everything here get? Will it be enough? And maybe I can use this to decide whether round 500 is possible if I was to just forego my computer's sanity and flood the screen with as efficient of towers as possible. And after 5 hours of total playtime, round 431 is what gets me. At the time of dying, the blimps had nearly 6 million HP and were 17.5 times faster than round 100. Overall, insanely strong blimps. This is like the equivalent of round maybe like 2000 or something stupid in the old days. Probably even higher. Now, I wanted to show you something cool. We're going to look at the towers that contributed the most damage to the cause, and the results may shock you. This one won't shock you though. The Vengeance Temple got 5 billion damage, and Azili got 2.7 billion damage. But some other fun ones, we got Bloon Master Alchemist at 4.7 billion damage. Insane. Grand Sabotage at 1.7 billion as well. And Unstable Concoction coming at 281 million. Now, the side DPS wasn't too bad, the best of them being the MAD at 400 million damage here. Avatar of Wrath wasn't too far behind at 290 million. Grand Master Ninja was at 207 million, but it's only been around for a short time with its Shinobi buffs. I'm sure we would overpass this guy in no time. Superminds was okay. Carpet of Spikes got 300 million. Ray of Doom was pretty bad, 40 million, and that's been around for, well, a bit. Archmage was decent, 80 million. The support temples got about 250 million each. Big Plane almost got 100 million. Now, because this was just a little lag as possible run, while this didn't show the true potential of late game, it does give us a good idea. And I think this is cause enough for me to believe that round 500 is in fact possible in a normal game. You just have to suffer through a lot of lag. But if you kind of keep this sort of stuff up and add things like Tax Zone and maybe more spike factories, I am almost positive you can make it to round 500. Because even though the jump from 431 to 500 is kind of big, we still have a lot of map to go. And there's decent stuff that we can make work. So I hope you guys enjoyed this random experimental episode of BTD Science. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to cover, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.